Bible English. Be predict, beg, blessing, concern, condemn, crucified, discussion, explain, foolish, keep, prophet, quote, recognize, regarded, rescue, sadness, scripture, strangely. Mark 24. But they didn't know who was because God kept them from recognizing him. He seemed to be on deep discussion about something he said. What are you so concerned about? They stopped short, sadness written across their faces. Then one of them, Cleopas, replied, "It must be the one person in Jerusalem who hasn't heard about all these things that has happened there the last few days." "What thing?" Jesus asked. "The thing that happens to Jesus, the man from Nazareth," they said. "He was a prophet who did wonderful miracles. He was a mighty teacher, highly regarded by both God and all these people. But our leaders, preachers, priests, and other religious leaders arrested him and handed him over to the condemned to death. And they crucified him. He had thought he was the Messiah who had come to the rescue Israel. That all happened 3 days ago. Then some women from our group of his followers were at his tomb early this morning, and they came back with an amazing report. They said that the body was missing, and they had seen angel who told them Jesus is alive. Some of our men went out to see, and sure enough, Jesus' body was gone, just as the woman had said. Then Jesus said to them, "You are such foolish people. You find it so hard to believe or that the prophet wrote in the scripture. Wasn't it clear, predicted by the prophet, that the Messiah wouldn't have to suffer all these things before entering his time of glory?" Then Jesus quote passage from the writing of the Moses and all the prophet, explaining what all the scripture said about himself. By this time they were nearing Emmaus and the end of their journey. Jesus would have gone on, but they begged him to stay the night with them, since it was getting late. So he went home with them as they sat down to eat, and they took a small loaf of bread, asked God's blessing on it, broke it, then gave it to them. Suddenly their eyes were open and they recognized him, and that moment he disappeared. They said to each other, Didn't our hearts feel strangely warm as he talked about us on the road and explained the scripture to us?" And within the hour, they were on their way back to Jerusalem, where the 11 disciples and the other followers of. And this is my word test. I recognize this one. That disciple go to the Emmaus and they didn't know what happened to the Jesus. So they are very sad because Jesus died. But God kept them from recognizing him. That means, God blocked their eyes and they didn't know this person who talked together on their ways. And then this sentence come to my eyes. Suddenly their eyes were opened and they recognized him, and at that moment he disappeared. So just God sent some kind of spirit and then open our eyes, and we can understand the true meaning in the Bible. Even we study very hard and we have some plan to read many times in the Bible, we cannot understand with all our might. That's why people will read our Bible. We should pray, "Please give us discerning heart and understanding, so we will realize your real plan and real minds and real will in the Bible." That's the first step to study English. Bible.